Hey everyone, I'm Steph,
And I'm Megan.
and welcome to another episode of Late Night Reads.
This week we are diving into the magical world of romantasy and covering Crescent Kingdom by Tessa Hale.
Let's start with why we selected Crescent Kingdom. We read our first Why Choose book earlier this year with the Never List, and we were, let's just say, definitely interested in finding more books within that trope.
Yes.
So this was recommended to us, and literally when I read it, I devoured the book. It was impossible to put down. There's something incredibly addictive about her writing style and her characters. And I know Megan was the same way when she read it.
Yeah, literally devoured it. It was a day. It took me a day to read the whole thing.
And then you immediately want the next book.
Yeah, and I did.
So there also the thing we liked about it is there wasn't a ton of world building that you have to read in order to plant your feet firmly in Crescent Creek, which is kind of refreshing because a lot of times in romantasy you have to learn the world and there's so much world building in that first book. And while there are definitely aspects of their magical world that we have to understand that we learn throughout kind of the series, it's pretty easy to picture the city itself. It's in present day. It doesn't take a ton of information for you to kind of feel like you're there already, which was actually really nice. And we do love characters who are emotionally damaged, and there are so many of those to choose from in this book. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion. There really isn't one that isn't emotionally damaged.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a sexy onion.
It really is a sexy onion, a sexy 5-pack onion.
Oh my God, yes, please. But here are a few things that you should know about the author Tessa Hale. So first, she tends to write romantasy books with more than one love interest. So big fan of that. And she has 5 series out so far, with each series containing 3 different books. So her latest series is The Wolves of Crescent Creek, and 2 of the books in this series are out now, with the third one coming out this September 2025.
So before we jump into this book, a couple of key reminders. This episode will contain spoilers. We assume if you're listening, you've read the book, you've been warned. It also contains a number of topics that may be sensitive for some readers, including anxiety, assault, blood, bullying, death, emotional abuse, kidnapping, murder, physical abuse, PTSD, sexual harassment, torture, and violence.
That's a fun list. So
And
now
then I weirdly smiled after it too. I was like,
I know, we're just like, yay. And another fun, well, not really a topic, but just and sexy onions. But that's a phrase I never thought I would say, sexy onions, and yet here we are. But
I love
let's
it.
talk tropes. Yeah. So first up, we have found family. Wren has been on the run for the past 8 years and hasn't stayed in one place for very long. She never let herself get too close to anyone, but that all changes when she comes to Crescent Creek. The town and the people within it start to feel like home to her even before she meets the 5 guys. Next, we have fated mates. It is pretty obvious from their first interactions that Wren is definitely going to be mates with the 5 guys in the pack. The connection between them is seriously undeniable, even when she's hiding her scent, and they all still feel a pull towards each other, no matter how much they just don't want to admit it. They're all stuck with each other. Next, we have why choose. 5 guys, 1 gal. I am so here for that. Let's do it, please. Even if it's going to take them a long time to finally accept Wren into their lives, seeing the interaction between her and each of the guys is heart throbbing. And you're like, please, just do it. Just mate. Just choose
Already.
each other. Just do it. Yes. Next, we have bad boy. The Diablos are known as mercenaries, so you can't get much more bad boy than that, honestly. You're like, yes, very hot. I'm down. Plus, 2 of them are literally called the Psycho Twins. They're not really twins, but they're just so psychotic in the same way that they're just bloodshed boys. Next, you have Touch Her and Die. Once each of the guys meets Wren, the protective side escalates very, very quickly. And it doesn't even matter if they admit to her being their mate or not. They're all desperate to keep her safe. So it's I don't want to believe she's my mate, but I also can't stay away from her, so touch her and you'll die. And then lastly, we have small town. Crescent Creek is the definition of a small town where everyone knows everyone's business and there's one bar in town, and you do not want to get kicked out of that bar.
No, you do not. Okay, in terms of every magical twist, this book opens up with our prologue. We see Wren. She's pulled from class at school and learns that her mother has died, which is, I really hope that's not how police officers and the social workers tell children that their parents have died if they're in school. That is just absolutely horrible.
It's so sad. And also, her name in that book, in that part of the book, is like Sarah. So like,
Yes.
we know she has like multiple aliases she has to go by her entire life.
So, and if that news isn't horrible enough, she finds out that her father, Bastion, is there and will
Oof.
be taking custody of her. And at this point in the book, we really don't know much about her father, but it's very clear, like from that prologue, that he's not a good guy. And it's also when we start to learn that she has these occasional headaches and happens to be a wolf shifter. So for the first part of the book, we only think that she is a wolf shifter until we learn more about like her caster magic, and then later in the series, some other things come to life too. But let's fast forward 15 years. She's living in the small town of Crescent Creek in Colorado. She's working at this local bar, like Megan mentioned, and she's a waitress. And we also learn that she's escaped from her father's like regime of terror approximately 8 years ago and has been on the run ever since. And then he has given her numerous scars, including a very noticeable one on her face.
Reminds me of Poppy. This big
It
old
really,
scar.
yes, very much so, but not Craven's. This
No.
was probably worse than Craven's.
Yeah.
I think being tortured for years is worse than being attacked by Cravens. One. So after work, she goes to the local gym, Crescent Kingdom, where she's like felt immediately at home since she's arrived. So she's feeling like these weird kind of connections to this town, even though she's not typically stayed in one place very long. And part of that is attributed to Clyde, who is like this older man. He's like a grandfather at the gym. He has like this super soft spot for Wren, tends to look out for her. And in this book, I love Clyde.
I
I think
love
he's
Clyde so
like, I
much.
love Clyde so much in this book.
Yeah. He's just like that little sweet man who's just like, "How you doing, hun? Like, you okay?
Right?
Like, I'll give you a hug. Like, do you need a cookie?" And I'm just like, "Oh,
Right?
I
But
love
then he's
you."
also like, go kick Juan's ass.
Yeah. Yeah. He's very much like in your corner, which is good. He's like, "Go." He's like, "You protect my girl." And you're like, "Yes, sir." So then during her time at the gym, we meet a couple of other guys, including Juan, who is definitely infatuated with Wren. And there's also Franco, who is her occasional sparring partner who is preparing for an upcoming MMA fight. Wren is definitely the stronger fighter between the two of them. And she holds back a little bit when she's fighting Franco, partially to hide her true powers, but also like she doesn't want to kick his ass too much. I mean, she's like, I want him to have some pride and like feel good about himself, you know? But as she's fighting Franco, she gets knocked on her ass when she suddenly is interrupted by the smell of another wolf at the gym. So she's just like doing her business, like fighting, and all of a sudden she's like, oh my God, what was that? And just boom, she gets kicked down. And oh my gosh, Franco felt so bad.
He
But
should have.
he should have. Yeah, it's like, don't hit a girl that hard. But also, like, she was
They
asking
were
for it.
also
Like,
boxing.
literally.
So it's kind of
Yes.
like,
It's okay.
it's
But he
okay.
felt bad. So you're like, okay, I know you're a good guy deep down. It's okay. But enter Kingston. Ah. He is the broody alpha wolf shifter who happens to be the owner of the gym. And he's been gone for the last 6 weeks, which is why Wren hasn't seen him until today. And his wolf can sense something very different about her. He's like, she's human, but she's different. She has her shields up, so he can't tell she's a wolf yet. But his wolf immediately is on the edge and wants to attack Franco for hitting her. And he feels this pull of attraction towards her, like a potential mating call. And his wolf almost loses his shit when he sees the scar on her face and that he knows, like, that came from a knife. Like, I want to murder whoever gave that to you. And then what's interesting about this initial meeting between Wren and Kingston is that he doesn't feel the mate connection when he first touches her. Because apparently there's this thing where like they touch each other and they could like see the future with each other, and that's how you know it's your mate. So he doesn't feel that. He doesn't see that. But both of their wolves inside of themselves seem to like want more from each other. And this is the first clue that we get about how Wren is very, very good at hiding who she really is from everyone around her.
I just love because when this happens and they like she touches Kingston and like the other guys in the book the first time, it's all like they're like, this is just our like horniness.
Yeah, yeah. They're just
Like,
like, we just need to get laid. That's all it is.
that's all it
Like,
is. It's nothing else. I'm like, continue. Continue.
but you do
Believe
need to get
that.
laid as well.
But you do.
Yes.
But it's more than that. So
Yeah.
his protective instincts go way up. He gives her some Tylenol, and there's like this funny interaction. She's like, I only take things that are like, you know, off non-prescription or whatever. And she like looks at the container and makes sure he's not going to drug her. And I'm like, sweet God, what has happened to you, woman? And he gives her like an ice pack for her face. He insists on walking her home too, which like she's just like, I live like a couple blocks away, like I'm fine.
Yeah.
But then like Clyde gangs up on her with Kingston is like, listen, You just need to let this happen.
Hmm.
So Kingson also doesn't love it that we find out that Wren lives on top of the bar. And like I get that, right? It's not necessarily if you were an attractive woman living on top of the bar where you work, it's probably not the safest place to live, just like on the surface. I get that.
Yeah.
But she's very quick to remind him, like, I'm good at taking care of myself. I've been doing it for a really long time. And then that's when she gets her first nickname of Little Warrior, which is funny that that's like what he calls her. And that proves to be a very accurate depiction of her as the series progresses.
Hmm.
So after he walks her home, he doesn't come in or anything like that. He struggles, like his wolf struggles and wants to like take her back to his territory and claim her. And I'm like, she's a woman and a wolf shifter. We are not property. You need to calm
No.
down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like a very new feeling to him because he's had this like, I would say attraction, desire feeling for other women before that his wolf has wanted, but it's never felt like this need to claim or this like, which is like a permanent connection that lasts forever. So like he has to like force himself to like walk away from the door. So like his wolf doesn't break it down. And then he feels physical pain when he goes to leave. And I'm just like, do do you not understand what's happening here?
Yeah. It's like, do you
Like
think maybe she really is?
crazy idea, right? Because then he's like, to Megan's point, like, well, maybe I just need to get laid. And then the thought of taking anyone else to bed makes both his wolf and his human half very angry. Like they only want Wren. So at this point, I'm like, okay, you're clearly like fated mates. This is going to happen between the two of you. The question is like, which one of you is going to give in first to like
Yes.
that attraction and want? And we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Because next we get to meet Puck, who happens to be the owner of Arcane, the bar. And he has a fun loving jokester personality. He also is like British, so he has like a sexy accent. And I'm like, yes, please. And he's just very different from Kingston. So within a couple of minutes, Puck is giving Kingston shit about liking Wren. And Kingston is asking Locke, who we meet later in the book, to dig into her past. So internet stalking mode has officially been activated. Locke is on the case. But given Wren's past, she always carries extra clothes, ID, money, etc. with her in case she has to run at any time. She also has a secret hiding place in the floorboards of the apartment where she keeps like a pay-as-you-go phone, a traceable tablet, cash, extra IDs. Like she's legit like wherever I need to go, I have my stuff ready and I'll run. And with that tablet, she actually regularly traces her father's pack because I guess her dad is like psycho and put GPS things in all of his like other wolves. So she can trace them and like see that they're not close to her. So she basically has to like live in fear of her father and his pack, ready to run at a moment's notice and just never look back. And that's pretty much just like what she's been doing for the past 8 years. So at this point, when Wren and Puck meet, she's taken aback. She's like, oh, what? Huh? Like your sexy British accent? And her mental
Yes,
shield is
please.
slipped, right? Yeah, I'm like, okay. Her mental shield like slips a tiny bit and she starts to feel some emotional agony from him, even though he appears to be totally fine. She's like, I can like feel something underneath this layer, the onion. We gotta have a different layer. I don't know, like parfait cake. I don't know, but onion. I guess we're with Shrek on this one. We're just doing the onions. But she can definitely feel that like there's something going on, and she can sense that he is also a wolf and smells like smoky whiskey. And I'm like, oh yes. And
Yes,
again, the British
please.
accent, just like I love it so much. And he's a huge flirt, so you're just like, take me, Prince William, take me.
I was in love with Puck like immediately. He
Yes, I
was my
love Puck.
favorite. Like at this point, and we'd only met Puck in Kingston, but he was my favorite for a while, and then someone
Yeah.
surpasses him in this book.
And he makes a mean green cheese, grilled
He,
cheese,
he
not
did
green.
right. He's just
He's a good
chef's
cook. And I'm
kiss.
like, yes, please.
Yes, please. And you're funny. So she's like on alert after she meets Puck because she's not seen him before. Because the cover story for whatever this mercenary work that they've been doing is that he's been climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. And I'm just like, that is a very specific cover story.
Yeah. Like, oh, I just
Like,
casually, I'm going to go to Africa and like climb a mountain. Like, no big deal.
no big deal. Now
Okay.
I'm
And
back.
you own a bar in Colorado.
But then he doesn't tell anyone he owns this bar, right? He's like, well, I'm
Yeah.
just like a bartender, which is kind
Yeah.
of which I mean, like technically is true. He is a bartender. He does tend the bar. but he lets out that he happens to own the bar as well. And I was just like, this is not a super great way to build trust, Puck, with someone who assumes everyone in the world is untrustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he can also sense there's something more going on with Wren, just like Kingston could. And we learn a lot. They all have different scents to them. Okay. So she smells like wildflowers and rain and something more. And so he feels that pull towards her as well. And he's not, based on like the description of him and like his inner monologue, he is not the type of guy that wants to settle down. But like he feels like she's a puzzle he needs to figure out. And then he gives her the nickname of Birdie, which is cute because like Wren is a bird. Like that's sweet. And he gives her this special drink to help with her headaches, which is something that Locke uses when he's been, in his lair coding and internet stalking people.
Yeah.
And then, as you mentioned, he can cook. And I'm like, how are we not immediately jumping Puck? I
Right.
mean, how he's gorgeous, he's funny, he's British, and he cooks.
We need to
Sign
fuck
me
Puck.
up. Right? Exactly. I'm just like,
Hmm.
why is this so hard? And then his wolf is also super protective of Wren and can sense that like she's been hurt in the past. So he assumes that because he didn't feel that instant like connection when they touched, she can't be his potential mate, which means like it's only attraction. So I'm like, for the love, like you guys, seriously. And I'm like, no one. And what's interesting is I don't think at this point, and we learned later in the series, but anyone has considered the possibility that like a mate connection could somehow be hidden from them,
Yeah.
which we've seen in other romantasy books before, right? Where we've talked about this in the Throne of Glass series, where Maeve, fakes the mate connection. Um, for Rowan, he thought he had another mate. We've seen in other places where it's been hidden. So I'm just like, is this like a super rare situation in this world? Is that no one's even heard of that being something that could happen?
Yeah.
But
Right.
mates are also pretty rare too that we know in kind of this magical world because not every pack gets a mate.
Mm-hmm. And at that
So
point, I was also like not sure. I'm like, is she mated to just one of them, or is it typical that she has to mate to all of them? Like, it wasn't very clear at this point. Like, is
yes,
it one or all? So it's like,
correct.
I would hope
Or
in all, of
some.
course, or some, yeah. So we'll get to that though. And also, the experience of eating the best grilled cheese sandwich of Ren's life is like ruined all of a sudden when Ender, our bad boy that we hate to love, comes like literally soldiering on in. And again, he's one of these psycho twins. And his first comment is about why she have a blade in her pocket. And it's like, oh shit. He's like always on high alert and just not trusting of anyone, kind of like Wren. And I'm like, you guys are literally two peas in a pod. Like, don't fight each other, just let it in. And Ender literally assumes that Wren has to be after one of his brothers. He's like, she's undercover. She's here to like destroy us. And the two of them start fighting in the kitchen. And I'm like, that's their love language, man. Like fighting. That's roughhousing that leads to probably like hardcore fucking is probably what they're going to do.
At least that's what we're hoping.
We're hoping, yes. And so they're in the middle of the kitchen and they're just like fighting and going nuts. And Puck convinces him to let her go since, oh, hey, buddy, she also happens to work here. Like, she's my employee. Like, please don't kill her. I need her. And
Can you
then,
imagine the workers' comp claim?
oh my God. Yes, that'd be
You
so,
were
like,
you were stabbed in the kitchen at work. Yes, by
yes.
my boss's brother who thought I was a spy.
Yeah, he thinks I'm an assassin. Like, I gotta go talk to HR really quick. And then after Wren leaves the kitchen, Ender forces Puck to share what he knows about her, which isn't much because he's like, she started working at the bar a month ago and like lives in the apartment above me or above the bar. And Ender again assumes that Wren is playing some kind of like con move, considering she's met both Kingston and Puck in less than 24 hours after they've gotten home. I'm like, dude, can't that just be like a coincidence? Like, come on.
Like she
But Puck,
went to the gym where she works out, and then she works at the bar. Like she was not stalking them, Ender.
yeah, it's like, dude, like, chill, calm down. And Puck even tells him to back off because both he and Kingston like her. He's like, dude, leave her alone.
I
And
feel like
Ender's not
Ender.
happy.
No, he's not happy. I feel like he has read too many romantasy books. He's like you and I. He's like, trust no one. Everyone
Trust
is
no
out to
one.
get you. Everyone
Mhm.
is a liar. That's what I feel
Exactly.
like his like mental space is in this book.
Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a secret, like, romantasy book reader. Like, he's got a library, I'm sure, in his room. And then Wren meets Locke. And he is like the complete opposite of the other guys. He is a nerdy tech, flannel wearing cutie who happens to be a wolf shifter, and he's got like cute little glasses. And honestly, for me, I'm just like, I love you. I love you. I want to marry you. And Locke offers to help Wren with this new tablet at work. And the moment that she smiles at him, it feels like a warm hug. And like Locke's like, oh my gosh, like, and he doesn't make eye contact very much. And so he's helping to fix this tablet issue, doesn't look at her, and then we can tell there's more to his story, and we're gonna just have to wait to find out. But I'm also like, you're like the secret, sensitive, like sexy guy with like the glasses. I'm like, I'm here for that.
I I didn't fall for him in this part of the book, but later he quickly became my like in the first book became my favorite. I was just like,
Yeah.
yes, please sign me up.
Like I equally love the rough and tough like bodybuilder sexy guy as much as I love like the nerdy tech guy with glasses that's like the silent but like will take over type later. I'm like, and now I have both, so why choose?
Now I
So
have all.
you know, it's
Exactly.
all of them. It's great.
All of them. So back at the gym, Wren runs into Puck and Kingston, and he's like Kingston's not happy. Well, one, he's like an alpha male, so he's going to be generally not happy. I feel like, but she's been back at the gym too soon after getting her head hit, and I feel like that's a reasonable thing because she got hit pretty hard. She probably has a concussion, even though she says like at the time like I don't,
Yeah.
because she's had lots of them before, and she's also a wolf shifter, so she's healing faster. But he doesn't know this.
He doesn't know.
And I'm like,
Mhm.
you still think she's human. Cool. And there's some really fun, like delicious banter between the three of them,
Yeah.
which was, and my favorite part kind of in this conversation was when Puck's like, I offer myself up as tribute if she needs to kick someone's ass. Like,
Yeah.
I'll take one for the team. Please let me
Yeah.
get on the mat with her.
She
Let
can
me
pin me
pin
to
her
the ground
down.
anytime. It's fine.
Exactly. And I was like, I think that's what he's hoping is that she'll pin him to the floor more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So Wren goes to like the treadmill and then Puck like follows her. I just imagine like kind of like this cute little puppy that's like,
Yes.
hi. And she's like,
He's
are
like-
you stalking me? And
Yeah,
he gives
he
like
is.
0 fucks. He's just like, yes.
Yes, I am. I want to
Like,
marry you. I love you.
I love you. Like, right? And he makes those types of comments like in the book, which is so funny. He's such a huge big flirt, and anywhere she's going to be in the room, he feels drawn to her presence and is right next to her. And that's also when Wren starts to feel that like her wolf has been more at ease in the last like day than she's been in the last decade. And somehow like she's met like I think at the time, right? Like 3 wolf shifters. So Locke, Puck, well, she's met Ender too, Ender and then Kingston. And she feels like they've made her feel part of the pack, which is weird because like they really haven't done anything except be nice to her.
Yeah.
So
Which is also sad. I'm like, you haven't had anyone just be nice
just
to you.
be nice to you. That has been like a supernatural wolf shifter. And I'm like, girly, that's because they're your mates. It's time to like
Mhm.
wake up and like get on it or them.
All of them.
All of them.
Have them get on you.
You.
All of it.
Yes. So, and then like things start to heat up because Wren wants to spar and Kingston does like the typical alpha male thing, like it'll be against me then. I'm like, oh sweet God.
Kind of gives me Zayden vibes. I'm like, oh, okay.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then he literally growls at Juan and Franco after they make a fairly innocent comment about like how perfect Wren looks. Like it wasn't even like a dirty comment. It wasn't even like a comment that I would say was like sexually harassing Wren. It was just like, I mean, she looks pretty perfect to us. And he literally growls at them. And I'm like, are you an overprotective alpha or what?
Oh my
Also,
God.
if you don't want people to know that you're a wolf shifter, you need to not growl at them in public. Like,
Yeah, like humans don't walk around just growling at people. Like,
I mean, I like it when men do it in books that I read.
oh, yes, yes. But in real life, I'm like, people
Please
don't do that. Like, no.
Or they shouldn't. Like, you're
No.
going to get the opposite type of reaction that you want, I think, if
Yeah,
you
they're
growl
going to be
at
like,
someone.
this guy's, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? You know?
Exactly. And then he takes off his shirt. So we have this growling situation. Then he takes off his shirt, and Wren can see like all these tattoos covering all of his body and then like disappearing into his shorts, making
That's when
her
I'm
wolf.
growling.
I know. Her wolf starts like wanting to purr. And I'm like, wolves purr like cats?
Yeah, right?
So, and I would have purred too. Jeez. Right? And so then we get what I was hoping, which is Kingson ends up pinning Wren to the mat and like forces her to tap out. And I'm like, yes, emotional sexual tension has like occurred.
It's begun.
It's begun.
They're gonna do it. Yay! And then Brix shows up. He's our remaining wolf pack man, and honestly, Brix might also be one of my favorites. So
yeah,
I love them all. It's just hard. I love them all.
They're all different. That's why we want all of them.
Yes, I don't want to choose. I love them all so much. So he knows Wren, and she realizes that she's ended up in the Diablo's territory, who happens to be a wolf pack of the feral mercenaries. And for those of you who have not read any of the other Tessa Hale books, Wren actually also shows up in the other series, Dragons of Ember Hollow, and briefly has like a run-in with Brix. So it's been about 4 years since that encounter, but he immediately is like, I know you from the dragons. And she's like, oh, fuck. Like, that's where I'm at? Like, I'm with these people? Shit.
Oh, shit.
Like, that's not good. And what's fascinating here is that Brix's wolf wanted to mark her back when he first saw her in the Dragons of Ember Hollow series. And yet he was also like very suspicious of her. He's like, I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, she's been hiding shit. Like, you should be suspicious of her. But also, like, that's a sign that she's your mate. Hello. So, yeah. So then Kingson pushes back on Wren on how she knows Hayden, who is the dragon shifter. And she plays it off that their connection is just, like, oh, we were just classmates at Evergreen University, where Wren attended school for like a year. She's like, and that's it. And that's then when Kingson, Puck, and Brix start to realize, like, Wren is running away from something or someone. Ender still thinks that she's an assassin, of course. And the most fascinating thing here is, like, Locke comes up and he is just empty-handed and can't find any record of Wren existing anywhere at all. And that, like, immediately puts a red flag up for all of them.
And I'm like, you need to up your stalking game because your internet sleuthing, you and I would have found something on her.
Oh, easily. No
right?
problem. Yeah. But probably because she's been changing names so much, it's like different aliases. But still,
like, we would have figured this shit out. Okay. So after this encounter, Wren is feeling really angsty and she's inclined to run. So, like, think about this. Like, one day you're in this cute little town, you're starting to feel like safe for the first time in like 8 years. And then you're like, oh, shit, I'm in with the Diablo pack, who are mercenaries, but then they also rescued Hayden. So they are kind of known for using their power for good, but then they also kill people for money. Like, big internal conflict. Like, I don't know how she didn't like have a mental breakdown at that point, because it's a lot for her. And she has not felt like something like a home feeling since her mom died, which has been like 15 years. And then we start to learn more about Wren's history and her father. So there are dominant and submissive wolves. And apparently she's a submissive wolf, which her father despises. And so a lot of what he's done has been in a so-called attempt to make her stronger and more dominant. And I'm like, how does beating the shit out of someone make them more dominant?
Yeah.
Like,
no.
I don't understand. So, and she's very receptive and picks up on a lot of things that others don't see. And that's how she was able to like get the login information for tracking the movement of her father's pack. So she's always kind of looking around to see what's going on. We learn her father likes to collect wolves like trophies, and his favorite ones have the most unique gifts. And then all of them, as you mentioned, have some sort of tracker implanted in them, so Wren can keep tabs on them, but so he can, and also it benefits Wren because so she can see them too. Her father doesn't have a tracker, but he always travels with 4 of his top enforcers. And then the beta of his father's pack, Marcel, is apparently more evil than Bastion. And when you read this book and like the second book, I don't know how that's possible to be more evil than Bastion.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Like, I'm slightly terrified for it. And then we learn that in addition to being a wolf shifter, having caster magic, she's also has the power of an empath, which means she can help heal people and take away some of their pain. But that
like
has
emotionally,
which is very much like Poppy in the Blood and Ash series. And that's been kept hidden from her father this entire time. And literally everyone else, the only person that knew was her mom, and her mom died.
Supposedly.
Or was murdered. I'm pretty sure she was murdered.
Pretty sure she was
by her
murdered.
father.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like 99% positive that's what happened. I don't think I need to see a body for that one.
I had a weird feeling that her mom
That
shows
she was
up
still alive.
again. Yeah.
I think she's dead. I feel like
Dead.
yeah,
Mm, we'll get to that.
we'll
I'll,
get to
I'll
that.
put my theory. I don't remember if it was in this book or the next one, but I had a theory about somebody. So we'll see. But okay, so let's also just say like Ender is even more suspicious of Wren after learning that Locke can't find any info about her and just assumes again the absolute worst. Like she's an assassin, she's a con woman, she's like here to like dig deep and then she's gonna kill us all. And he finds it like again really suspicious that she shows up right after they had left to deal with some dark mages and then all of a sudden inserts herself in like half of their businesses like without them really knowing. And he's like referring to like the bar and the gym. And yeah, like when you say it like that, it does sound bad. Like it is a bit suspicious, of
It
course.
it doesn't sound great.
No, yeah, you're like, when you put it on paper, that makes sense, that tracks. But thankfully, Locke also brings up another reason why he can't find anything about her. He's like, well, maybe it's because she's running from something and like she's in danger. Like maybe that's why. So he's like trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. And then we have a very entertaining scene where Puck is trying to bribe Wren to wait on a certain table where three girls are. It's this girl, Cressida, and like two of her friends, like the mean girls, basically. And apparently he once like slept with Cressida and like immediately regrets it, but like she just like won't let go. She's like clinger stage 5. And Puck is very grateful for Wren's willingness to help him out. But then Wren goes up to the table and Cressida's like, I really want Puck to be my server because we're like good friends, if you know what I mean. And Wren's like, well, he told me to take this table, but I'll see if he can stop by. And Cressida is like not thrilled to learn that Puck did that. And she's instantly jealous, like literally just like red blaring through her eyes.
But
Not literally.
why?
Yeah, I'm just like, honey, come on, get
Like
over
you're
it.
jealous that he asked another person that works there to wait on your table? Why would we be jealous of her?
Yeah, it's not like she said, well, I fucked him too. Like, then you
Right?
could be jealous, but it's just like weird. And
Very
so
weird.
while she's there, Wren's wolf is also feeling a little bit of jealousy, but she like keeps it down. She's like, whatever, like, he's not mine. Like, why do I feel jealous? But turns out Puck only slept with Cressida one time and was pretty much blackout drunk. And it's just not the love story that Cressida seems to think is happening in her mind. It's like, ooh, honey, no, he's really not that into you. Like, have you read that book? He's just not that into you because this is about you. So this like admission basically causes Wren to like lower her mental shields around Puck. And she can sense that he has really, really like a ton of pain inside of him. And she just looks at him as like, what happened to you? Before she starts falling to the floor almost because like her empath like makes her like it takes all of her energy. So like she accidentally uses it and then she's like, oh shit, I'm falling
Oh
down.
shit. Well, because I
Yeah.
don't think she expected this jovial guy to have so much like deep hidden pain
Yeah.
that he covers up with humor. And apparently fun times with Cressida.
Oh yeah.
So
Oof.
he
Wasn't that
tries
fun apparently though.
apparently not. It was for Cressida though, because she will not let it go. So he does what like I think a lot of people do when you get asked a question you don't answer. We pretend like it didn't happen. We just move on and we don't answer it because he doesn't want to open up about how he's been hurt in the past. So he's just going to pretend like she never asked. And then he continues to feel like tormented by this pull to her and is like, could she be my potential mate? But then he's also confused, which is like what we see with almost all the guys. Like, could she be my mate? No, I didn't feel the mate bond when we touched. But then he does at least like man up when it comes to Cressida and tells her to knock off her shit. Otherwise, he's going to kick her out of the bar. And he makes it
Yeah.
like this is the first time he makes it very clear to her that he's never going to sleep with her again.
It's
And I'm
surprising
like,
that he has to do that more than once.
yes, he does.
I'm like,
He
girl,
does.
no means no.
No means
Like,
no. Stop sexually harassing Puck.
Puck does
So,
not want to fuck
no,
you.
not you. Someone else, yes, not you. Well, needless to say, she does not take this news very well, and accidentally spills her drink all over Ren's shirt, which then like infuriates Puck, escalates his protective nature, and then that mere thing of just accidentally spilling a drink on Wren causes him to ban Cressida and her friends from the bar unless she apologizes. Surprising
And
no
I'm
one. She
like,
just
there's the only bar in town. Like her friends are like,
like, where are we gonna go? And Cressida's
where are
like,
we
I'm
gonna
not
go?
fucking apologizing.
Yeah, and you're like, oh
Like,
girl, you fucked up.
what it is like a pretty drastic reaction
I
to
mean,
like
yeah.
spilling a drink. I'm like,
Yeah.
Puck, you need to calm down. And
Yeah.
that's when Puck finally convinces to Ren that like, well, I own the bar. Like that's why I could ban Cressida. And then he also, because like her shirt's gotten wet, he's like, come to my office. He is gonna give her another like shirt to change into. And so like she does the like the cute little thing where she like turns around so her back's facing him and she takes her shirt off. And then he sees like all of these scars all over her back, indicating like she's been beaten and tortured numerous times. Because to this point, we've only really kind of known about the big scar on her face. We've not realized they're all over her entire body.
This
And
reminds
that,
me of the scene from like Outlander.
which I've not seen, so I will trust you.
Okay, well, that doesn't really give it away, but there's a scene in Outlander where you see a guy who has his back is just like marred with scars from being
Scars.
whipped and shit, and you're just like, oh, it's bad. So I can imagine like that's what he's seeing. He's like, who hurt you? Oh my
Yeah.
God. It's bad.
So he then becomes even more protective of her if that was possible, now that he's seen this. And then that's also when Ren gives him the best nickname ever, which is she calls him Buddy. And there is nothing more that infuriates him than being called Buddy because, like, here's the I don't know why, because you have the phrase fuck buddies.
Well, that's when
So,
like, why didn't he just immediately go to that? He's like, I'm Puck, your fuck buddy. And I'm like,
exactly. I like this. No,
fuck
he
buddy,
was just
great.
like, don't call me Buddy. I think all my thought was, is he like relating this to like Buddy the Elf from the movie Elf? Is that like why he's like, I don't want to be your buddy? What the fuck is wrong with
Your
you? Stop
buddy.
calling me that. Because it really bothers him. Like it irrationally bothers him. He becomes very fixated on not liking being called Buddy.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, if you didn't like it, you should have just like played along with this. That she didn't keep doing it. Like, call her buddy back. You know?
Right.
I don't know.
Because now
I
that you
think,
create a reaction from it, we're going to poke at it more.
yes, absolutely, because it's fun. But then next we get a sparring scene between Brix and Kingson, where we learn that the most physical touch that Brix can even handle is like sparring or a tattoo gun. Like his entire family was murdered, and he literally, like, part of him died along with them. And so that's when we start to learn more about their security business, the Crescent Kingdom security, where they are known as mercenaries, but they tend to switch back and forth between jobs that benefit their bank accounts and then ones that make the world a better place. So I'm like, okay, you're good guys, but you also like make money, so that's good.
Kill people for money.
You kill people for money. You're a hitman, but like you're killing bad people, so it's okay, right?
Right. But sometimes we don't charge as much or we do it for free.
Yeah, it's a morally gray area, but it's all right.
But you know, it's our favorite color.
We love morally gray. That should be on our t-shirt. My favorite color is morally gray.
Yes.
Morally gray, wolves and dragons, etc. So we're guessing that like the help that they offered the dragon shifters in the Embers of Hollow series probably fits into like that latter category. So when all the guys are together in the gym, Puck tells them about Wren's scars, which immediately causes most of them to growl again and like
Loud again.
Yeah, they're like, and I'm like, could you imagine just being a bystander and there's like a group of 5 guys all growling at each other? I'll be like, what is wrong with you?
See, all I thought was like I would just imagine like being on the treadmill, like in the gym, and then hearing like a pack of 5 guys growling at each other, and part of me would probably be like, that checks out.
You're like, okay.
Like I would also be like, what the fuck? But also like I wouldn't be surprised.
This is true. This is true. You're like, are you a bunch of gym rats, but like wolf-ish?
Like groups of men do weird things together when they're in like a gym or sports scenario. Like
That's true.
So
I don't know, man. But it's weird.
But it's weird.
Yeah, but basically, you know, they're growling and they feel the sense of fury to avenge her. And well, all of them except for Ender, of course, because he's still like, no, she's an assassin. But they have to like battle their like inner wolf from coming out of that moment. And Ender's just like annoyed by all this. He's like, guys, come on, like she's gonna kill us. Like, no, those are fake scars. And I'm like, dude. So he's definitely just like the hardest nut to crack in this series. There always has to be at least one, you know, in a wide choose. There's got to be one hard to get, at least. And so all the guys immediately want to know like more about like what's going on with Wren, but they don't obviously want to ask her because why would we ask questions? Why would we do that? Why, So Ender's solution is like, let's stalk and find out. And I'm like, that's a great idea. So then Wren shows up at the gym and she admits that she, had freaked out because she heard about the Diablos and their horrible reputation. And Kingson then clarifies, he's like, oh, well, we actually are just merely a security firm. And this name just kind of like stuck with us after we dismantled a cartel in Mexico. So it's kind of like, well, I guess if a Mexican cartel is like calling you the Diablos, like you're badass. So they're like, we're okay with it, I guess. But we're not really like that. And then Brix.
We're good guys.
We're good guys. Just sometimes do bad things
to bad
for money.
People.
Yeah. I'm like, it's okay. It's fine. It's morally great. It's fine. So then Brix tells Wren that she smells wrong. I'm like, what? Excuse me? It's just like when Kieran kept telling Poppy she smelled like death. I'm like, can you guys just stop commenting on like how women smell? Like, or at least use like a little bit more pleasant descriptions, like when they do smell, like now I'm just like, do I smell? Like, what do I smell like? Do I smell like death? Do I smell wrong? Like, ugh.
Like, what the hell? And it's funny because they all talk about how she smells like wildflowers and rain. I'm like, why can't we tell her that? Why do we have to tell her she smells wrong? Like, how is a girl supposed to take that?
Right. She's like, well, I just got off a shift at the bar, so I don't know.
Like, do I smell like tequila?
Do I smell like club soda that got spilled all over me? Like, I don't know.
Like, what do you mean by wrong?
Yeah.
So, after being told, you smell wrong.
Which is rude.
No, which is rude.
So rude.
And knowing that, you just happen to have accidentally infiltrated the Diablos, they go to leave the gym and she smells dark magic and shouts, watch out, because she knows that there are these dark mages in the parking lot. And then Kingson does like the typical alpha male thing, was like, get back on the gym. And she's just like,
I'll save you.
And she's like, fuck you. No.
It's like, bitch, I can save myself.
Right. It reminded me a lot of Poppy. Like, I was just like, you can save yourself. So she's super helpful. She puts like a protective shield around them, which they don't even notice until like one of the mages tries to do something and then bounces off. There's fighting ensuing. They have to do some hand-to-hand combat because the dark mages now have protection spells around them. And then while trying to save Puck from, I don't know, getting stabbed, she gets stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she like kind of like passes out. I think that's like a normal reaction from getting stabbed, I feel like. So the guys take her back to their house to stitch up her injuries while she's unconscious. And that leads like her shields come down because we've learned earlier in the book that sometimes when she's in a deep sleep, her shields will come down too. And I think being unconscious would constitute a deep sleep. And then, right? So then they can scent her for the first time and they realize that she smells of wolf and castor. So that castor magic. And according to Brix, she smells like home. And I'm like, oh,
ding, ding, ding. Hello.
Ding, ding, ding. Hello.
Yes.
And then like she wakes. So imagine like being Wren and waking up. You're in a room that you don't know where you're at. The last thing you remember is being attacked by dark mages and being stabbed. And then there are 5 overprotective men in the room like staring at you.
For a second, it was kind of like The Wizard of Oz for me, where like Dorothy wakes up and she goes, you were there and you were there and you were there. But like in a different way, obviously. Because then you're like, wait, this isn't right.
So Ender's pissed because he's like, you lied to us. And I'm like, you didn't tell her you were wolf shifters either. Like, what the fuck? Pot meat kettle. Like,
and you never asked.
And you never asked, right? And I'm also like, you guys didn't say anything. Like, and then they're like, how'd you get the scars all over your body? And I'm like, can we not let a girl wake up from being stabbed, rest a minute before we, I don't know, interrogate the hell out of her about everything she's done in her past life? Like, you need to calm down.
Yes, literally. Cue the Taylor Swift song, Calm Down, dude. So then Locke is the first one of them to try and connect with Wren after this incident. And you're like, oh, Locke, I love you so much.
This is when I started to fall for Locke.
Yes, even more so. And Locke learns that Wren knows that they helped out her friend Hayden, and Hayden knew her true nature. But Wren asked her to keep it a secret from everyone else, which is why Brix never found out about it. So Wren's first instinct here is to try and escape from their house. Like, they're like, you're not a prisoner. Like, you aren't trapped here, but at the same time, like she can't really escape. So it's kind of like, eh.
Uh,
And when she does try and escape, that just does not go over well with Brix, Puck, or Kingston. Ender, on the other hand, is like, I don't care less what she does, and like assumes like she likely just saved Puck's life to further like infiltrate their pack. He's like, yeah, this is part of her plan. Like,
how
and
does
they're
he
just
like? How does he think that worked? Like, somehow she set up the dark mages to come and attack them. She planned for one of them to attack Puck specifically, and would be close enough to him to prevent him from dying. So then she could get stabbed, and they would take her back to their lair. Like, what?
yeah, it's like, yes, I did want to get stabbed and nearly die. Of course, that's part of my
That
plan.
sounds like a great Friday.
Right? Yeah, I'm like, dude, Ender, like, you need some therapy. Like, calm down. Go sit down. Go have a seat. We'll deal with you later. And according to Brix, it's unwise for Wren to try and leave town now because the dark mages will be watching all of the exits of the town looking for her. And the only option really is for her to stay with them. And I'm like, oh darn.
Rats.
Darn it. But Ender hates this idea naturally. And the fighting breaks out amongst the guys. And it's really, really hard at this point for Wren to experience that because all these heightened emotions just like pull at her emotional shields, like literally just like causing her like the biggest headache, migraine ever. And then we see Puck and Locke go into caregiver mode because they notice like she's not okay, like something's going on, and they like start to help her with her oncoming migraine. They're like, let's close the blinds, like a little bit of light, and just like soothe her, you know. I love them.
So next morning, Wren wakes up, finds a pile of clothes and a note from Locke that is like extremely thoughtful. And like all the clothes are like her size. He's like looked at her shoes to get her a pair of boots on the right size. Like it's really freaking sweet. And then she finds all the guys minus Ender getting ready to like devour a feast that Puck has made for breakfast. And then we get to meet one of my favorite characters in the book, Ender's cat, named Princess. That's right.
Oh my
Ender,
God.
the hard-ass mercenary who assumes everyone is out to kill you, has a cat named Princess. And Video calls her when they're on missions. He's a big old cat daddy.
Cat daddy. Oh
And
my
that's
God, I
what
love it.
she starts to call him, and I love it. I love it
Yes.
so much.
I'm pretty sure I've
There's-
seen a bumper sticker on somebody's car literally says cat daddy. And I'm like, Ender needs that.
Yes, he does.
Ender needs a cat daddy bumper sticker.
Because he is a big old cat daddy in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So she is feeling fully recovered. She wants to go back to work, which like does not go well with Kingston. Shocker. So we get some more like fun banter between the two of them. And then finally he relents. And this is when we learn that his beta is Brix. So like kind of like the number 2, which is not who I expected it to be. I thought it would be Ender.
I thought it'd be Ender too, yeah.
So, and he's like, Wren can go to work and the gym, but she has to stay like as long as she stays with us. And one of us is with her at all times. And I'm like, first of all, that sounds wonderful. I like
Yay.
that.
Mhm.
But also she like as a grown-ass woman, she can do whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah.
Just throw it out
Yeah.
there.
Didn't she
Wolves-
save you guys from all these dark
Right?
mages? Like, come on.
Like she told you they were coming and then she saved Puck's life. Just throwing that out there. And Wren's inner wolf is like liking the sound of all this too.
Yeah, she's
So-
like, purr, purr.
Purr.
Even though she's a wolf, but she's still like purring, like, yes, take care of me. Uh-huh.
I like it. So a few days later, Kingston and Locke are sparring at the gym and they discuss like this pull they both feel towards Wren, which is really confusing considering they didn't feel the mating bond when they touched her. And then we learn that Kingson has felt like a possible mating bond twice before, but neither time was as intense as what he feels towards Wren. And I'm like, what? What do you mean a possible mating bond? Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, what does that even mean? Like,
I don't, like a pool, I guess, is kind of how I took it. But apparently,
Yeah.
wolves can bond with someone who isn't their true mate. And if your true mate comes into the picture, it's not a good situation at all. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like that would be a horrible situation.
that'd be bad. Really bad.
So this leads Locke to question if like she's meant to be theirs because maybe they don't have a true mate. Like not all packs do. So maybe she still is meant to be like with them. And I'm like, Locke, I love you. I think you're just like the sweetest. I also love that he isn't as good at fighting. So like after they were attacked by the dark mages, like he wanted to get better at it. And that's why he's sparring in the gym with Kingston.
Yeah, he's just like the sweetest. I love him. So then Wren shows up at the gym and Kingston can sense that there is something wrong with her. Like she's burning up and like she says she needs to spar to keep from going feral, which is when a shifter loses control over their two selves, like their animal half starts to take over. And this is when Kingston and Locke find out that Wren hasn't run with a pack or had any touch from another wolf for years. And then we get our first spicy scene of the book. Kingston and Locke work together to finger fuck her and go down on her because orgasms help control your inner wolf, which I agree helps me control my inner wolf as well. Yes, please.
Yes, please.
And then Wren is surprised that Kingston and Locke don't want anything else in return and that, like, this was all about her and her needs. And I'm like, yes, it is. And that's how it should be. And then they take her running in her wolf form, which, you know, you have to do like butt naked. And I'm like, mm-hmm. So why didn't we just like go for more? I'm just kind of like, come on. And it causes her to start to feel like she's part of their pack, which she admits. And then Kingston tells her she always has a place with them. And you're like, oh, Kingston.
I know. And then I start to fall for Kingston because I'm like,
I know. He's like moving his way up like my ladder of like, now I love you more. Like, and then that night, so sweet. This night, then Locke literally like knocks on the door and he's like, "Can I sleep with you? Can we snuggle?" And she immediately says yes. And there's just like this sense of ease between the two of them that I think allows their relationship to just progress a little bit faster than the other ones, because he also had a little bit of a similar situation in his past where his parents kicked him out when he was 13 because he was also a submissive wolf, which isn't something that you can control. It's just kind of like who you are. But he lived on the streets for like 5 years until Kingston finally found him and took him in and helped him see that like he's more than what his parents saw him as. And your heart honestly just like is going to break for Locke at this point. Like there's no way for it not to, because he's opening up about his feelings and his past. And it causes Wren to remember that her father would say stuff about her in that sense too. He'd be like, you're weak. And like, she feels that pain. She's like, I understand you. And even though like she doesn't share that with Locke at this point, it's just like a mutual understanding that they can just relate to one another since they've been left out for most of their lives, you know?
It's really sweet. Well, and it just makes you feel for Locke so much more at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So next morning she wakes up and she has like a note from Locke. She has a note from Puck. And like, I love how it's described. She feels like a teenager, like a middle schooler in love, and like is kicking up her feet, which is the opposite of what I would have expected from her when you meet her at the beginning of the book. She also runs into Princess, who is like, basically, I feel like the cat talks to her, even though she doesn't really like follow me. And she like follows Princess around and she shows her cat palace, or as Wren refers to her, the pussy palace, that also happens to be.
Yes.
I love it, right? It's like this big elaborate cat tower that's also in the weapons room, which I'm like, Ender, isn't there a better place for you to put your pussy palace than the weapons room?
You would
Apparently
think.
not.
You would think.
So that leads to Ender to teaching Wren how to use a bow and arrow, which turns Ender on. Ender needs a lot of cold showers in this series.
Does. A lot of cold showers.
And he refuses to act on any of this like sexual tension that is very clear between the two of them. There is a thin line between hate and fucking, apparently.
So, why can't they just hate fuck? It'd be great.
Right? They needed to at this point, I feel like. And then all the lights go out the house and Wren has like a PTSD attack and thinks she's being held by her father's pack and beaten, which causes her to start like fighting everyone around her until they hold her down and she like passes out. And that's part of the reason, like, you see her make comments about how, like, she usually takes her night lights with her. She leaves, like, a bathroom light on. Like, she doesn't like to be in the dark. So this is, you know, kind of, like, very triggering for her. And then this leads to, like, another, once again, like, falling further into love with Puck. He, like, gets in the tub with her to try and warm her up. And, like, seeing her, like, just so, I guess, fragile, like, really impacts all of them when she talks about them being held in the dark and being hurt. And then that's when Kingston starts to go like, could she be our mate? Well, we've been thinking this entire book, Kingston, so yes. And then we learned from Brix's inner monologue that he could never have a mate because he believes he would could never inflict his true, like, fucked up self on anyone, which is really, like, so heartbreaking to read.
Yeah.
So when she wakes up, Kingston's like, can you drop your scent shields for a few minutes? And she's like, why?
Yeah, like, nope. Nope.
Like, once again, why are we, after a woman has a very like a traumatic medical situation, are we asking her to do something the moment she's awakened?
Yeah, it's like,
Like,
girl, give the girl a break. Like, let her breathe for a second.
let her have her coffee or tea, like, chill. And that's when Locke says, like, I've been doing some research. Apparently, these scent shields that she's been using to protect herself as a wolf shifter can block true mating bonds. And she's like, Okay, but it would, like, this would be impossible, right? There's no way we could be mates." And then Locke says, and this is where, like, it was impossible not to, like, absolutely love him, that he would still want her even if she's not his mate. Like, she has all of him regardless. And I'm like, oh, Locke, like. So then she drops her like her scent shields, and she feels like this, like the zing, which reminds me a lot of like Hotel Transylvania. And
Yeah.
right, they zing, and she sees
Zing.
like every time she touches like Locke or Kingston or Ender, she sees flashes of their future together. And both Locke and Kingston immediately know she's their mate. Ender, of course, in typical Ender fashion, is like, it was a caster spell. Like, you're a sorcerer,
Sorcery. Yeah.
right? And like
Witchcraft.
leaves the room. Exactly. And then Brix is, I would say, like a little less crazy than Ender, because he's like, I know the truth, but like, I'm not going to saddle you with a mate like me, which is really heartbreaking. And then Puck, which made me so frustrated at Puck, because, and to this point, he has been the biggest flirt with her. He's been making comments about like he
I love
loves
you,
her,
marry you.
like
Yeah.
all those things. And then he won't even touch her because he says he can't. And then he like leaves the room. And I'm just like,
I was so
fucking Puck.
disappointed.
I was so pissed off.
So mad. I was just like, are you like, you were supposed, I thought you'd be like first one in there, like just like Locke. And I'm just like,
Yes.
dude. So that tells you like he's definitely a lot more like emotionally damaged
Then we know at this
than we
point.
know.
Yeah.
Because again, Wren isn't surprised that Ender and Brix reacted this way, but it really hurts her to see Puck react like this, given how like again how he's like treated her up to this point. So she goes out to run as a wolf and happens to run into Brix in his wolf form afterwards. And his wolf wants to scent her, which really frustrates her because she's like, you rejected me. Like, why do you want to smell me? Like, how dare you? But then she's like, well, let's try something. And she like kind of like puts her hand out, like touches him as a wolf because like maybe he just doesn't want to be touched as a human, and immediately feels that same electric like pulse and like sees their future together too. And she can also feel his pain. So she then uses a little bit of her empath gifts to like help heal his hurt a tiny bit. And when Brix shifts back into his human form, it looks like we're going to get a spicy scene in the middle of the woods. But just as we're about to, we get cock-blocked by these dark mages showing up. And they just literally like pour cold water on everything. And I'm just like, how dare you? This was not fair.
I did not enjoy that part because I really thought, I was like, we're getting sex in the woods up against a tree.
Yes,
That's
please.
what I thought we were having.
Oh,
It gave me very much like the Veil of Blood magic with like Liv and Zev, like that tree. Like I was like, oh, this is gonna happen. It did not happen.
And then I was like, well, what if they have sex as wolves? Like, what if she shifts back? And I'm just like, they're doing it doggy style, but it's wolfy style, you know? But we don't get that, and it's very upsetting because then we have a fight with these dark mages. Wren is cut again, which sends Brix over the fucking edge because he's just like, you hurt my mate. I will destroy you and everyone who's ever known you, you know? And they're all about to pay for it. So he ends up killing all of them except for the one that hurt Wren because basically that guy has like magic and just does like poof and he like disappears in smoke. And then the other guys finally show up to help and Brix shifts back to his human form but is just like covered in like their black blood and like gross. And he has like a ton of rage in him until Wren touches him, which causes Puck to freak out because they're like, oh my God, she is touching Brix. Like, is she about to get her hand bit off? Like, no one touches this guy. But she's actually able to like calm him down. And they're just like, oh shit, this is real. Like, what?
And also like, this is weird, right? Like,
yeah. And also it's like, oh, well, seems like the job here is done. Brix killed everyone. So.
right. You didn't need
Yay.
us.
Yeah.
So then she ends up taking Brix into the house to get cleaned up. And then we finally get the spicy scene that we've been waiting for. Hello, shower sex.
Shower sex. Yes.
We love shower sex.
So good.
I really did not expect the first person she would have sex with to be Brix.
Me neither. I thought it was gonna be Kingston
I thought it was
or
gonna be
Puck.
Kingston or Puck. Like if
Yeah.
that, I would have put money on that, like
Mm-hmm.
early on in the series.
We were wrong.
And then he marks her, but it's not like a mate mark. Apparently, you can bite them and like mark them, but that doesn't create like the mate bond. So, and then meanwhile, like Puck is on edge because why? You're a fucking asshole and walked out on her. And so, and then like hearing Brix and Wren having sex and like smelling it probably like didn't help the situation either, right? Because like now
Yeah.
he's feeling it's interesting because in this scenario, I feel like they do feel jealousy a little bit among them. Like they feel happy when their brothers are with Wren, but then they also like feel jealous if they're not. And I'm like, usually that's your fault. So,
Mm-hmm.
but he does like man up and finally talk to her about it. And then we learn about his past, which is also really heartbreaking. Like I don't know whose story is worse, to be honest. But he's from like a royal line. He was an heir to the throne. His brother Theo didn't like it. They were kind of like in their early 20s. A potential mate stayed with them. And Puck was like, "Hey, this is like a perfect solution. Like what if the three of us, right? Him and his brother and this potential mate create a bond." And his brother was like, "Yeah, sounds good." And I'm like, "Sounds
What could
suspicious.
go wrong?
What could go wrong?"
Yeah.
Well, apparently the girl is a horrible human and drugs Puck, which I'm just like, okay, because and then his brother challenged him for his alpha status. And I guess if someone challenges you for your alpha status, like you have to fight them to the death or they have to like give up and like submit. And his brother wouldn't submit, so Puck had to kill him. And I'm like, did you? Is that like, maybe that's how this works, but like it's how it works based on what we've been told.
Yeah.
Anyways, and so he is like, Puck left his entire family. His sister's like taking over now, and he hasn't been back since. And that's why he's so worried about Wren hurting him. And it's like this really sweet moment between the two of them where like he's kind of bearing his heart to her and you feel for him. And I'm like, oh. And then fucking Ender comes in the room and all hell breaks
Douchebag.
loose. Like I'm
Yeah. One note, I just had a thought about Puck's situation. What if, because it's very suspicious that that woman like drugs him and like is trying to like get these brothers to do this. What if the sister encouraged it? What if the sister was like, I want to actually be alpha, but I want to have it taken care of for me. And it's like a friend of hers. And she's like, you should drug my stronger brother and like he'll kill the other one. And then I have a feeling he'll leave because he'll be so ashamed. Then I will be the queen. I trust
that'd be
no
really
one.
fucked up. Trust no one.
It would be fucked up, but it makes sense. So who knows? Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. Crazy theory. So Ender comes into the room. Fucks shit up. So we've heard already about the Red River Pack throughout this book from the guys. And we know that Wren's family is the alpha of a pretty horrible pack. Turns out her dad is the alpha of the Red River Pack. Oh no. Like,
Not great.
not good. Like your heart is breaking for Wren at this point because it's like she's about to get fucked over and not in a good way. So Ender then holds out a picture of her as a teenager standing next to Bastian, who is her father. And we then find out that we're not find out, but we kind of knew. Kingston's sister was taken by this pack, by Bastian, and then killed. Ender's family and Brix's family were killed by this pack. Brix himself was almost killed by them. So now Ender assumes, because again, he's been on this whole, like, she's an assassin, she's going to kill us all. Assumes, like, yeah, we're right. She's here to gather intel for her dad. She's going to take it back to him. And this is all a ploy from the Red River Pack. And the only people who really stand up for her at this point are Puck and Locke. And you're just like, Kingston, hello? Like, what?
Right? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Brix, what the fuck is wrong
Brix,
with you?
Brix, we just fucked. Like, what are you talking about?
You just had shower sex. You just marked
Yes.
me. Like, what?
What? And so then Wren, of course, is upset that like they're all like kind of turning against her in a way. And she heads back to her room and Locke immediately starts hitting Ender and like fighting with him. And rightfully so, he deserved it. And Brix just kind of like stands there and reiterates, she's my mate, is what it is. She's my mate. But Wren doesn't hear this necessarily. And Locke reminds all of them that he listens to her and how she told them about she was hurt in the dark. and how she's clearly been running from somebody. And Locke's like, what if it was her dad? Like, hello, he's a bad guy. Doesn't mean she's not a victim.
Like,
So,
full of dumbasses. I feel like he's just like,
yeah.
are you not?
He's like, are you not putting the pieces together that like he did this to his daughter? Like we know he's a bad guy, but he's a bad guy, you know? And then Kingston starts to realize what he's done. He's like, oh shit, like I didn't stick up for her. And again, Ender is still assuming like they're all falling for a trap. So he's just like, nope, called it. I knew it. I knew it was fake. So the four of them go to look for Wren in her room. Ender's like, no, I don't give a shit. But the four of the other ones are like, let's go talk to her and see if we can figure this all out. And she's gone. Like, she just pieced out. And honestly, don't blame her for that. Like, but I'm curious how she did it, because before that room was not, she wasn't able to escape from that room. So
it was pre-locked down before.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know how she did it, but she did it. But, you know, Wren does what she does best. She runs. So she's feeling completely heartbroken over how some of these guys have responded to her. And even though she like can see them, like as she's like hiding, she can see them like going to look for her. She like waits out, like, okay, they're going to my apartment. Okay, they're going to the gym. Like, I'm going to wait till they're gone to actually make my move. And it's heartbreaking because she like can tell like they're trying to find her, you know? And she's just like keeping herself hidden. And then when she finally feels like she's safe, she like goes up to her like car, and she is captured by a group of dark figures who know that she's tied to the Diablo's pack, and that's where the book ends. And you're like,
and so what the fuck?
What? I'm sorry, what?
Well, and when I read this book, the second book wasn't out yet, and I was just like, what do you mean? Like, give it to me now. What do you mean?
And I was
need it.
So confused because I'm like, wait, that's the end of the book? We only had one actual sex scene. And I'm like, no, I need more. And also, what the fuck? Who took her? Is it Bastion? Did he take her? Is it the mages? Like,
I assumed it was the Red River Pack. That was like my assumption, right? Like, it has to be them. We've been leading up to this. But we'll get to what happens next in our second episode on Eclipsed Empire. But let's talk hot and steamy. Okay,
yes.
we have like 2 chapters that have like spice. It felt like a 3 because it's a little bit more than like a 2.5 that is kind of like closed doorish.
Mm-hmm. I'd say a good 3.
So it feels like a 3. So
because we didn't have a lot yet.
We didn't have a lot, but it was very descriptive when we got it.
It was very good.
So I appreciated that.
Mm-hmm.
So chapter 31, we talk about where Kingston and Locke, they're at the gym, and then they finger fuck her and then go down on her in the gym, but in Kingston's office. So it wasn't like on sweaty gym equipment because that's kind of gross.
Yeah, no.
So in chapter 31, when Kingston and Locke like finger fuck her and go down and run at the gym, this is one thing that I love about this series is like when the guys are involved, especially when they're like not actually having like regular, I don't want to say, when they're not usually penetrating anything except using their fingers.
Yeah.
Usually
penal
like
penetration.
There's no penis penetration. One of the other brothers is typically like telling them what to do or making them describe like how it feels and all these things, which somehow intensifies the scene even more. And it's not something that we typically see in like a lot of white chooses. But anyways. So basically they get started and Kingson is doing a majority of the work. And he says, fuck brother, I wish you could feel how tight she's gripping me, how greedy she is for my fingers. You gonna take my cock the same way? And I'm like, yes, please.
Please.
When are we getting to that part?
Yeah.
And so like Kingston continues, he's picking up speed, he's twisting and curling his fingers. And then he says to her, which is I think one of the hottest lines in this book, soak my hand, little warrior. I want to drown in you. And I was like, shit, this is gonna get like, you're a dirty talker and I like this. And also I was like, Locke, you're really quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need you to amp it up next time.
Mm-hmm. But you know, he's back there like working her nipples and stuff at the same time. So it's like he's a participant.
He's a participant, but I feel like he's, at least in this scene, it feels like he's like a learning participant. Does that make sense?
Yes. But hopefully he learns from the master and he's also very good later.
But the question is, who's the master?
Who's the master? I mean, Kingston, obviously. But that's why I was so like, why did we not get a sex scene with Kingston? Like
Right.
actual like sex. Like I did not expect it to be Brix. I'm so pleased about that though.
I
It
was
was
very
very
pleased I was very pleased by it though.
very pleased. So then we have chapter 46 where Wren and Brix have shower sex. So great. And so, it starts, they're getting all hot and heavy, cleaning him up. And then 2 fingers slid inside, and Brix curses, "You feel like heaven, wet, tight, mine." I love mine. I'm like,
I do too. I think I like it better than Good Girl.
oh, I do. I like mine way better than good girl or baby, as we know.
Well, we
And
things
she
not
just
to say,
says,
things that Megan does not want to hear, baby.
I don't want to hear baby. No. And my mouth fell open as I struggled for breath. "It's been a long time." And he says, "Good. Fucking heaven." And then Brix's tongue flashed out, lashing against my clit. I couldn't hold back my cry. He circled that bundle of nerves, teasing and toying. My hips arched, seeking more pleasure. Brix growled again. My walls fluttered around his fingers, and Brix tore his mouth away from me. "Not yet." He's like, "I need you ready, little warrior, ready to take me, all of me." And oh my God.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, please.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. And then he just like slams into her, like goes to town. And like, there's no easing in. He's just like, "Here we go. Get ready."
There is no, yeah. I feel
Hold
like
on
that's
to
a
my
theme for
shoulders.
these guys.
Yeah, exactly. And it was wonderful. It was lovely. And everybody in the house heard it, I'm sure. And they're all just like jealous, just like, what the fuck?
Right?
And I'm like, "Kingston, it could have been you. You could have been the first one."
Right. Well, I really thought he was him or Puck. That's what I really was guessing.
Like, can we
So-
fuck Buck, please?
We'll have to find out. Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of what's next, if you enjoyed this book, we think obviously you're going to love the rest of the Wolves of Crescent Creek series, including the second book that is also out now, Eclipsed Empire. The third book in the series, Rising Rain, comes out in September, and we can't wait to get our hands on it. Also, highly recommend Dragons of Ember Hollow series by Tessa Hale. It's another wide choose with dragon shifters, and you know how much we love dragons. And you do get to see
Yes.
Wren pop up in a few scenes. And if you are in your wide shoes era like we are, highly recommend checking out The Never List by Jade Presley. One of our top reads of the entire year so far. So good. And then
So good.
The Veil of Blood Magic by Jade Presley as well. And both of those are available as all are the Tessa Hale books are on Kindle Unlimited.
Yes, they are so wonderful. And please make sure to check out the episode on the second book here in the Wolves of Crescent Creek series, Eclipsed Empire. And it's going to be available now, right after this one. Go watch it. So join us next week when we dive into the world of contemporary romance and discuss Only in Your Dreams by Ellie K. Wilde. Happy reading.
Happy reading. Thanks for listening to Late Night Reads. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Late Night Reads Podcast. And check out latenightreads.com for even more information about all the books we're reading. If you loved today's episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. And share the show with your fellow book lovers.